Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Panerai Luminor Power Reserve PAM 27, 44 millimeters in polished stainless steel. You can see, and if you like, purchase this PAM 27 on our website, watchyouwant.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now you can see on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This PAM 27 wears just a little bit more compact than its Valjoux-powered successors, and let me explain. 14.5 millimeters thick, the benefit of that ultra-thin complicated movement pays off with greater clearance when you want to slip this under a dress cuff or a long sleeve. The 7750, Valjoux 7750 movement that succeeded the 9040 Power Reserve results in a 16 millimeter thick watch. That's the PAM 90 and similar successor models. So this one actually sits closer to the skin, is lower in profile, and because of that dramatically sloped conical bezel, it's an easy fit under a long sleeve. All but the absolute tightest are going to get along well with this watch. And because of the outstanding combination of polished steel and a beautifully symmetrical black dial, it does have a surpassing elegance not equaled by the later off-center Power Reserve models. And because it does have an upscale treatment to it, metal, dial, thickness, the complementary alligator leather rectangular scale strap really works well, an ideal choice for a versatile Panerai that is a sports watch but has an extra gear that not every Luminor has. The beautifully bolstered strap features a gorgeous contrasting stitch, and with a nice pared down polished pin buckle, not the oversized combat diver trapezoid by the way, it really works well as the ideal accessory for formal attire, while still boasting all of the sports watch credentials in terms of toughness and classical image to maintain its place in the Panerai pantheon. Now you can see all the images that you associate with Panerai are present and accounted for. High visibility, simplistic dial, beautifully large luminescent indices and numerals, the crescent-shaped device protecting the crown with its ability to deflect blows from any angle, and of course the ease of the locking lever to unlock the crown and allow immediate winding, and if you like, you can pull it and set it while wearing gloves when your hands are wet or sweaty. None of the inconvenience or cumbersome bother of a screw-down crown. And because the Power Reserve right here at 6 o'clock, as you wind the watch, you get the extra entertainment factor of watching the 42-hour Power Reserve energized. Now this is an important point because part of the appeal of this watch is in fact the symmetry of the dial. I want to focus on this particular symmetry because it's a defining trait of the PAM 27 and it's key to understanding the movement inside. Now the Soprod 9040 caliber, off the top of my head, has only powered a handful of Panerai models, most of them in the distant past. The 27 and its PVD hobnail dial brother, the 28, as well as the late 2000s re-edition of 1000 units of the 28. So this is not a look you're likely to see often, and as the watch was only produced for 3 model years, the A, the B, and the C series, they are long since discontinued. So not only is it a beautiful balance, but it's also an exclusive piece. So with a different look and of course the aura of exclusivity, there's a lot to recommend the PAM 27 and its ilk. I also want to talk a little bit about this dial because not only does it feature an unconventional Power Reserve location as well as center seconds, both exceptional features for a Panerai model, but the fact that it is the so-called sausage dial as opposed to the more commonly seen sandwich has a practical payoff. Known for legibility and nighttime luminescence, the Panerai models with the sausage dial are even more visible. The sandwich dial, the stencil on top of a loomed disc, has more of a 3D glowing effect at night, but it is less legible, it is less bright. The sausage dial is the one for absolute luminescence in the evening. Now, produced through the A, B, and C series, you're correct to conclude that some of these were going to be tritium, some of them were going to be luminova. This being a C series watch, it has the bright luminova whose luminescence, brightness, radiance at night is undiminished by the years. The tritium watches are gorgeous to look at, but from a practical perspective, if you want to see and use the watch, you want luminova. Now you'll also notice that the symmetry of the dial is beautifully preserved by the interior Cyclops eye magnifier. It doesn't mar the profile of the crystal, and the monotone date disc, which is just visible if you want it, but doesn't otherwise break up the black monotone of the dial if you're not looking specifically for it. So a beautifully balanced aesthetic. Everything from the balance of the dial to the beautiful alligator with contrasting stitch, the pared down, classical, polished pin buckle, speaks to a standard of elegance and refinement uncommon in the Panerai catalog. So it has exclusivity, it's thin, it's fine, it's durable, it's elegant, everything you'd want. But let's talk a little bit more about that movement, because the Soprod 9040 is a little bit misunderstood. What it is fundamentally is an ETA 2892A2 architecture. Soprod calls it the A10, with a special Soprod modular power reserve complication added to the top. Now the 2892 is far thinner than the power reserve model that succeeded it, which was based on the Valjoux 7750. The fact that this is based on the thin, fine, and very tough 2892 explains why this watch is so thin by Panerai standards. It also explains the fact that the watch has none of the off-center unidirectional winding wobble and winding rattle that you get in the Valjoux models. From a refinement perspective, this one works the way a Rolex works, bidirectional winding, so there's no freewheeling of the rotor in either directions. It's loaded and winding in both directions, energizing that 42-hour power reserve, and you do have hacking seconds and COSC Swiss chronometer certification. So not only is the watch very precise, but it also has the ability to stop the balance, halt the seconds hand, and synchronize to a reference timer such as an atomic clock or a known accurate quartz watch. In a lot of ways, this is a Panerai for a collector who wants a different kind of Luminor, who likes the basic look but doesn't want an anonymous watch, a cookie cutter watch, a face in the crowd. This is a distinctive visage, and the fact that one of the Power Reserve models has already been subject to a re-edition speaks to the enduring appeal of the 27 and the 28. If you want a brighter countenance, if you want something that's less vulnerable than the PVD 28, a little bit more upbeat in character, the 27 is the ticket. And again, it has it all going. Refinement, durability, exclusivity, and a fascinating original movement inside seen on very few other Panerai models. You can see it, and if you like, you can take home this Panerai Luminor Power Reserve PAM 27, 44mm in stainless steel on our website, watchyouwant.com.